it was a tale of two halves. I thought that, when our chips were down and we challenged our kids at halftime, they responded, they came out, and they really played like greyhounds. They never gave up. They kept fighting and battling, and I'm just so proud of them. They put us in a position to win a game, and when you're down 8-2, things look awful tough at that point. But these two young men next to me, they played awful hard for us, and they and their teammates, like I said, put us in a position to win a game, and that's all you can ask for when you're down 8-2.
We'll open up to questions for the student athletes at this time.
John, how were you able to sort of completely change the complexion of the game in the second half by winning all those draws? Was there something you did differently, or what happened?
I think I just settled down a little bit and got more confident in myself and was able to really just settle down and get it to my team. And, I'm better when my team's better. We're scoring more goals. It's giving me more chances, getting me into a rhythm, and, it makes us better as a whole team.
So you didn't do anything technically? You didn't change the way? Okay.
No.
Did you, obviously when they sent the poll out there, did you sense sort of the mountain team frustration that, that you won a ton of them and they were at that point sort of desperate to win?
A little bit, yeah. It's whenever you see a poll out there, it's always, it can go either way. It can, it can be easy for the actual draw itself, but it's a lot harder once you get the ball out of the face-off backs, because that's where the defensive part of the long pole comes in and makes it a lot tougher to pick up those ground balls.
Well, Alex, I have to ask you about the last goal. What did you see when he was kind of charging down the field?
It was a long pole, and typically it's not a situation you see very often in the game, and it's definitely one that we practiced a lot during the week of practice. But I think at that point it was just who had more guts, and the Cornell player came bearing down, and I just don't think we made the right decisions to make that stop.
Alex, Coach said he challenged you at halftime with your team. How did he do that? What do you have to say?
Well, I think our coaches do a terrific job every week of preparing us for every situation we can find ourselves in the game. And what we saw today was not foreign to us. We practiced being down a goal, being down 2 goals. And Coach said before the game that we have to take each play one at a time. And, in the second half, we took that to heart and we just took each play one at a time, and we gradually clawed back in the game, and we made it a lacrosse game.
Any other questions for the student athletes this time?
Well, I guess, John, did you sense that there was some gaining momentum for you guys in the second half? Was there a particular moment that you thought, wow, we're back in the game? It was 9-2 at one point.
Yeah. When we got back, when we came back to 9-5, when it was 9-5, when we scored that 5th goal, right then and there, and I didn't have any doubt in the fact that our team could come back, make it just an all-out game and be right back in it.
And we'll open up the coach questions as well for Coach at this time.
Well, I'm wondering about you, Charlie, in terms of John's dominance. He's been 60% this year at the Ox, but in the second half he really completely changed the game. What did you see from your perspective?
I saw the guy I see every week. I see a guy that goes out there and he's so well coached by Steve Agnes. I think you have to start by giving his face-off position coach a lot of credit. He goes out there, and whether or not it's a short stick or a long pole, there's a plan, and so we know that with John, and Steve even said it to me within the game, he said he's settling down now. He's got an idea of how his opponents are approaching him, whether or not he needs to time the whistle or whether or not he needs to sit down on the ball and get it to a spot. There's a plan every time. And Steve came over to me on the sideline early in the third quarter and said, we're fine. We're in a good spot right now. And I think, once we had that plan in place and John was playing with some confidence, and I thought that our wings were able to kind of keep those wings off of them, that was very important. And then we obviously had a few more possessions in the second half that we just weren't getting in the first half.
What was your decision to switch goalies? Was there the last goal that led to go?
Yeah, I've always said it. I feel like I've got two very talented goalies, and you just wish that you played with a sense of urgency in front of the first one, so that he's not seeing his first shot from 6 yards, and you want to let him get going. And we believe in Jake just as much as we believe, that if things aren't working out and we're not playing defense and we need that spark, that Alex is ready to give us that spark. And I thought that Alex, came in and gave us that spark. But I don't know that it was really an issue in the goal today. I really like to believe that we didn't play solid defensively in front of our first guy to give him a chance to make saves.
Well, and part of it was that they had the ball a lot.
They did. They had the ball a lot, but we didn't do a great job of switching on some picks on the inside, and some of their mumbo sets. We talked about not trying to slide to a guy's weak hand, and we did. And next thing you know, they're stepping in at 8 yards with their hands free from low to high. That's a tough position to put any goalie in.